Hi everyone, I'm Kathy Dawson. Welcome to Can You Relate? Cleveland's relationship show. If you've been tuning in the last few weeks, you know that this show is for you. It's all about relationships, whether it's relationships with you and your mates, you and your children, you and your coworkers, you and your pets, you and your friends, whatever it is, this show is here for you. And I actually recommend that when you watch the show, you have paper and pen, because we're always talking about things that are for you, resources, websites, books. So make sure you have a pen and paper by your side. This show, later in the show, we're going to talk about a relationship that's so important. We all have it. It's with food, especially around this time of year. It's winter, you want to hunker down, you want to eat. But first, we're not going to talk about how cold it is. We're going to talk about how hot it is in Cleveland. You may have heard of this wonderful show called Hot in Cleveland. It's, of course, taped in LA. It's all about Cleveland, and we have a writer from Cleveland Magazine who wrote a story about the show. So let's get started. Hot in Cleveland is a hot show. Millions of people are watching it, and it's on TV Land. And I'm so honored to have Colleen Smitek here. You're the senior editor at Cleveland Magazine, and you wrote this wonderful article, we have the cover to show everyone, about the 4 women in Hot in Cleveland. So tell me about this. First of all, how fun was this to go to LA?
Well, I tell you, at first it didn't sound, it sounded like a great opportunity, but I'm thinking I haven't been away from my 2 little girls ever for 3 nights.
Aww.
So I was excited, but a little sad to leave.
Sure, that makes sense.
But, you know, then I got to my hotel and it was really quiet, and, you know, there was a pool outside and the weather was nice, so I made it work, and it ended up being a lot of fun, but I was happy to see them when I got home.
Now, for some of the viewers who may not have seen the show, can you give us kind of a recap of what it's about, the theme of it?
Yeah, it's about 4 women who live in LA. They decide to go on to Paris for a vacation, but their plane has to make an emergency stop in Cleveland.
Okay.
So to kill time, they wander into a bar, and they notice that the men are looking at them in a way that they have not been looked at in LA for probably a couple of decades. They also notice that everyone is eating food. So they, the gag, right, yeah. The gag in the line is that it made them feel 10 pounds lighter and 10 years younger.
Right.
So they stayed. And they rented a house where the caretaker was Betty White.
Oh, love it. So how is the relationship between the show and Cleveland, really? I mean, I don't know how you felt, but when I first heard this was going to air, I thought, oh no, please be nice to us.
Well, we've all heard the joke, right? The joke's been around for a long time, and we're a little bit sick of it. So when the show starts out, and the premise is, you know, 4 fabulous women from California walk into a bar in Cleveland, right? It sounds like a bad joke. It sounds horrible.
Right.
But then, you know, you have to realize they stayed, and they're constantly saying kind things about the city. They love the people in the city, the characters, and so I think ultimately it's very flattering to us. Now, they do not necessarily portray our more sophisticated side. The restaurant that they hang out in doesn't look like a Michael Simon restaurant. But you have to realize, too, this is a TV show. They're trying to be funny.
Right.
And cut them a little slack.
And more funny things happen in that restaurant than...
Right.
Yeah.
Cleveland needs to learn to take a joke.
Exactly.
Is
So
what we thought.
I'm dying to know about their relationship, the actresses' relationship. Do they all get along? Is it good? You know, how's that going?
You know, they say that they love working together because they love each other and they get along wonderfully. Now, just because people get along does not mean that they're going to have...
There's Valerie Bertinelli.
Good chemistry. She was so nice. I mean, she was just constantly saying nice things. She's a huge Browns fan. I mean, she's just like you'd think she'd be.
Oh my gosh.
She's great. But just because people get along doesn't mean they're going to have good chemistry.
Right.
But so the producers just said, they use the phrase lightning in a bottle. Unbelievable how these women got along. Now, they each gave me a lot of time to sit down and talk to them. And what I found is I really felt like they were 4 women who were just very happy to be themselves and very confident.
Yes.
And you're the relationship coach, but I think if you're a real confident person, you're not going to tend to be competitive with your castmates.
There you go. That's right. It all starts inside.
And they weren't. Wendy Malick said that it's like playing tennis with someone who's really good. It just elevates your game. You know they're going to smash the ball back, and you're going to just have a great game.
So there isn't this intense competition. You just enjoy.
There really isn't. They were so nice.
And that's why it's a success. Now I have a question for you. Do you think that they'll ever come to Cleveland? Did you get a sense?
I really did sense that they wanted to.
Really?
I did.
Oh,
Especially,
how
well, Valerie Bertinelli is here quite often
sure.
because her now husband, she just got married, is from Cuyahoga Falls.
Okay.
But no, I think they do want to, and they were trying to work it out for the premiere, the show, for the premiere of the second season, which I think is, do you have the date? January 18th, maybe?
I don't. Okay.
It's really soon. They were trying to come back here for a premiere party. I don't know if that's going to happen,
Okay.
but I think they will be back here, if not this year, I would guess next year.
Great. Well, I'll tell you what, you did a beautiful job on this
Thank
article.
you.
So thank you so much for the work that you've done. And if anyone wants to pick up the Cleveland Magazine, it's on the stands now, or you can go to the website at clevelandmagazine.com. Stay tuned because we're going to have more of Can You Relate coming up.
Up next, can photos fix a fractured family? We'll focus on how your pictures can help develop family ties. And later in the show, baby, it's cold outside. And inside, family members are acting a bit frosty too. We'll share ways to warm up your relationships this winter.